Yeah, Mike, as you just mentioned, this comes just days after those sanctions, the toughest yet, were passed through the UN Security Council, but also one day after Pyongyang threatened to, in its own words, sink Japan, and also a day after South Korea conducted a missile test of its own. We still don't know what kind of projectile was launched from, we're told, Pyongyang. We're getting some details from the Joint Chiefs of Staff here. They're saying it flew at an altitude of around 700 kilometers and flew around 3,700 kilometers. So as you say, passing over Japan, passing over the northern tip of Japan. And in Japan, a warning was put out. People were told to take shelter. The response from here has been for President Moon Jae-in to call an emergency meeting of the National Security Council, but also immediately after that launch was detected, and it happened just before 7 a.m. local time, within minutes, it seems, the South Korean troops were scrambling for a drill of their own, firing surface-to-surface missiles on the East Coast. We don't, again, know what type of missile this is, but clearly it's not a short-range missile. It will be taken very seriously. The range that it was fired is very similar to the distance it would need to fly to hit Guam, the U.S. territory. And already there's no doubt the analysis here will be that it is sending that message, again, that the DPRK can hit Guam at the same time rattling Japan in the process.
And Jack, as you said, this will be taken seriously. Given what we know about past responses to this, any idea how Japan and the Republic of Korea might respond?
Yeah, if this had been a short-range missile test, so something that fell in the Eastern Sea in between South Korea and Japan, no doubt there would have been a lot of angry words, you know, something that flies over Japan, something that is clearly a longer-range missile. This could even be an intercontinental ballistic missile flying at a shorter distance. This is going to provoke a stronger response. No doubt they'll be pushing again for yet another UN Security Council meeting. Probably Japan and South Korea will also push for tougher sanctions. Again, it all depends on what kind of missile this is, but already the indications are there it was something quite serious. And it comes at an awkward time for South Korea. South Korea just announced it's considering $8 million in humanitarian aid to be funded through the United Nations to the DPRK. Immediately, this has been criticized by Japan as undermining the current sanctions, even though it doesn't contravene the current sanctions, and damaging you know, what the United States and Japan and South Korea have been trying to do. We haven't heard an official comment from the United States, but already Donald Trump has described Moon's policies as appeasement. So it's going to come at a very awkward time, but no doubt South Korea and Japan and the United States will probably be pushing for tougher action at the UN over this latest test.